Bye-bye.
All right, I'd like to call it January 9th, 2025 meeting of the Inland Wetlands and Water Courses Commission to order.
I think I am.
Say that again?
I think I'm still an alternate, right?
So
Yes.
we'll be seeing Chris for tonight. Do we have any additions to the agenda tonight?
We should see Chris for somebody that's not here, so pick somebody at random.
Scott's not here.
Chris for Scott. No additions.
No addition. So we're down to approval of last month's minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the last meeting.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Passed. Audience of citizens. Docket. So we will start with Reed 367 Wiley School Road Pond Operation.
Last month, Dan came in front of us with a, more or less of a kind of concept plan for the two small ponds that he wants to dig. So I worked with him, and you got two site plans in front of you. One's an aerial photo to kind of give you an idea where the wetlands lay out adjacent to Wiley School. You got Danny here tonight. So the wetlands here kind of basically flow south to north. The wetlands actually start all the way up by my house on Stuckett Turnpike. And they go all the way behind Hardica's Christmas tree fields and Joey Gillo's farm. And then they make it all the way down around Dan's house lots. Those both those houses you see on either side, both the properties. Then it goes into a culvert and walk onto steep forest land. The other diagram is just a layout on specs as far as the sizes of the ponds. Detail showing side view of the pond, section view. Essentially what we're looking for is a 4-to-1 slope. That way if a animal or somebody wanders in there, they can get back out without having to be steep slopes. We're definitely looking for the riprap outflows on both of the little ponds. That way, if we get 3 inches of rain, the flows that are going to be coming through there aren't going to open them right up and just blow them out. Also shown as a stockpile area because the materials, depending on the time of year, when this is excavated, he may need to plop those excavations out somewhere to let them drain a little bit before he can actually move them because they come out like soup.
Yeah.
And then the last thing on the detail is a dewatering basin, and that will only be necessary if he has to put a trash pump in there to pump water out as he's excavating. Sometimes it'll probably be needed, I'm guessing, but the idea is that all the muddy water goes into that box, which is essentially just state hay bales with a geotex bottom, and then as that fills up, the cleaner water pours over the top, and the silt and sediment stays where it is. I don't know if there's anything you need to add. We talked about the depth. The depth's going to be somewhere between 4 and 5 feet, depending on what he, how far down he can get, which is fine because it's not, a big holding basin for lots, thousands of gallons of water.
Yeah. Fine.
I would, if you guys are looking at approving this, I would make a conditional approval that this one gets attempted probably in August, July or August of this coming year. The water table will be as low as possible.
Spring.
He does have some tree clearing and stuff to do that I can see happening at any time.
Yeah.
especially now, if we're getting frozen ground,
Yes.
if you're gonna be going out,
No, this is
Oh,
definitely
behind
a good time
your
to cut
house,
a few
you-
trees down, everything's solid. Anything within 30 feet of 40 feet of the edge of where I want to go to is 3 feet of mud.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
kind of got to be careful about that.
Freeze up if you can. So that's all I got, but again, I don't see any issue with that, you know, this commission's approved ponds in the past, you know, for agricultural uses. I'll be more than willing to, you know, do site inspections and stay on top of it, just to make sure, you know, that these silt fencing is put in correctly. You know, one of the big things is keep an eye on silt fencing, especially before like big rainstorms. Make sure it's,
I don't want to fill in the culvert and have
Stable.
water back up on the road.
you don't want the state of Connecticut getting mad because you're
No.
sending muddy water onto their state forest.
Besides, question. Besides the ground being frozen too deep, would it make sense to dig it when the ground's maybe not 100% frozen, but also not soaking wet?
No, we want him to do his tree clearing now while the ground is frozen. But as far as excavating, the water table is as high as it can be right now.
Is it?
So
That's why I'm asking.
the first bucket he pulls out of there is gonna be a big
water.
bucket of
I
muddy
don't
water.
see being able to start until July, August, like you said, maybe even later than that when it's dried up.
It'll be less impact on the
Okay,
surrounding
that's what I was
wetlands.
asking. I didn't
It'll
know.
be less.
Being a little
trouble.
bit frozen, if it would come out better, you know?
Wetlands don't freeze in the winter. They
No.
don't, you know, like, I mean, you may get
Generate a
frozen
lot of heat.
water, all that organic matter in there, it's like peat moss.
They turn fog, so hot.
It's kind of hard to see from these photos, but if you were to see it up close, a lot of it's already water eroded and there's large freestanding stone in most of that area.
No,
But again, still waiting for the dry time. It's definitely a good thing.
That was going pretty good after a few rains.
Oh, right now, everything's pretty solid. Not that I would walk across it, but everything's frozen over it's full of water and it's frozen.
looks like we're finding need, we're getting additional.
No, it's a good time.
Want to make a motion to,
The commission approved the
given a stipulation that it's done in July, August, September time. Yep. Second motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Those are some items.
I'll be sending you a letter, stipulations, and, here we go.
All right. Good. Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Any copies you guys don't want, I'll throw it here. I'm gonna start my fireplace or something.
Next order of business, Mr. Gregory, 333 Pendleton Hill Road, wetland plan. Did you see, is this new?
Yes, it is. Okay, I'm gonna make a few more copies for you guys.
Okay, you guys got one each?
What's the next step?
Kind of like, I wasn't involved in the very first meeting, but that's what.
So what I'm seeing here, this is a very basic letter explaining the wetland delineation. Talks about the different species growing in it. Very common to rural pools. Noted that it was inundated when he did the delineation, which is sometime before October 16th. October 13th. He did it. There's a brief description of wetland functions and values. A little more explanation on them, but it's got wildlife habitat, nesting area for migratory songbirds, flood storage, groundwater recharge, plant diversity, and aesthetic value. The site could support amphibian habitat, and however, it's not known to be a vernal pool. Of course, in October, you can't really make that call.
Right.
The time to make that call is somewhere between late February and early March is when the vernal pool species lay their eggs. So you can't really, unless you actually find one under a stump or a log or something. You're not gonna- It does describe some of the, what went on as far as the filling and erosion, and, he is recommending that it gets removed. That's basically it. I don't, really, there's no remediation plan, explaining how or when, how it should be restored. We asked for that. I have not had a chance to stop by and actually take a look at the delineation and see. Did he go around the whole wetlands, or he just probably did property line to property line? Huh? He didn't go on the other guys.
Can't go.
You can't technically go on somebody else's
You
property.
can't go there technically, you can't walk through it.
Yep.
I mean, I own a 50-foot strip, we've done, we went right up to the edge of the clearing.
Okay.
There's 50 feet there.
Yep. Well, it's understandable. I wasn't asking him to do that. You get in trouble when you do that.
I don't know, I just,
They flag anything?
we flagged it. I don't have
Okay,
any
good.
problems.
Yeah,
And
so
it's a pretty rough site to go through.
yeah, the first paragraph says it's flags 100A to 106A, so there's basically 6 wetland flags.
Okay.
Perimeter.
The next step, an engineer or land surveyor with a remediation plan.
I was just looking at that, yeah, so to me, Carl has fulfilled provisions number 1 and 2 by getting it flagged, having a function of value assessment done, which again, is still very, very basic. When I do them, they're 10 or 12 pages. But it tells you what you need to know, basically.
Yeah.
So it's a no frills, but it meets the,
Meets the
okay.
standard.
So what we need is a wetland remediation report and a site plan. So Carl, what that generally is when John goes in there and locates the flags on the property, he's gonna show an existing condition plan, and then he's gonna confer with your soil scientist, and your soil scientist is gonna develop number 3, which is a wetland remediation plan, which is gonna be a plan that shows how the material is going to be excavated out of there, how the wetlands are going to be protected when it gets taken out of there, and then what the result is going to be. How is it going to be reseeded? What it's going to be reseeded with? Is he going to want you to just seed it with New England wet mix, which is a seed, like a lawn seed for wetlands, or is he going to recommend plantings like buttonbush and blueberries, which are in there now?
I think to be honest, Boundaries is on site next week.
Perfect. Good.
They were gonna do the design, the engineering aspects. Dexter's attitude was to move some and leave some of the material. I think that's a little lost. I don't know what he was referring to for the edges and all the rest. I don't want to get into that.
Well, a remediation plan will show that. Actually, the surveyor's plan will say, all right, this is the limit of fill here. We're taking 5 or 6 feet towards the road out, or 2 feet out, or whatever their
It was,
best estimation is, it'll be definitive.
I don't want to say anything until it's actually on the design board.
Right, well, like I
John
said, this
came up
is
with
very
remediation.
vague. You know, it says it should be removed, but it really should say all of the recent materials
I,
should be removed, whereas the historic materials, okay, let's leave those because they may have been there before you owned the property. I don't know that, you know what I'm saying? So he needs to be more definitive with his remediation plan. A one-page letter is not gonna cut it.
I just hired him.
No, I know,
I don't know. I don't know his
I'm
game.
not admonishing you, I'm just.
I know he wanted the big flat pieces out on the edges removed.
Yeah.
I know definitely he wanted that.
Well, plus anything else that was under that. You know, is that, you know, whatever, again, I don't know, you don't know. You don't know what's under there. Was it one load that went in there? Was it 20 loads?
He was actually more concerned with the stuff on the ground and the big pieces. He wanted that, absolutely wanted that going and cleaned up.
Yep.
The rest of the remediation, maybe make a new wetland, whatever.
Yep.
Stretch it, move it, but I'll give you back whatever was there.
Yep.
One way or another.
Yep.
I just don't know. I mean, I'd like to see it in a drafting board. I don't know how tight anything is.
Yeah, that's fine, that's fine.
I went in there with a brush saw so we could get through. And it just got blue briars as big as your thumb. It's just nasty.
Yeah, no, I walked in there.
So, yeah, I mean, Dexter is at retirement age. He had a hard time getting through there. I wasn't happy getting through there, just rough piece of property. We surveyed.
Two things I want you to take out of this is number 3, 4, and 5 on your letter.
John,
We want those at the next meeting or no later than a couple of months.
I gave that to John.
Okay.
We'll do that.
Yep. The other thing I want to stress is that if Mr. Dexter wants to meet with me and discuss this, I'm more than happy to meet him out on site with you and try to clarify things and help you guys get a game plan, because this has been going on for 8 freaking months.
Yeah,
It needs to get done.
the survey world is absolutely bonkers for work.
Oh, I know that.
There's
I
just-
understand
there's
that.
none. I would have done it. I would have done it 8 months ago. I couldn't get a crew in there. That's the culprit. I called John Police 3 times a week since Christmas, trying to get in. It's just a horrendous, overstressed business. There's nobody doing it.
No, I know
The
that.
majority of them went out of business, were bought out. They don't want to talk to me. They don't want little jobs. This is just a nuisance to most of the professional world.
So that's all I have. If you guys have any questions, I
So we proceeded.
don't want to speak for you. So, you know, we should table it for this month and, or not table it, but, you know, table it the next month.
Right.
And, you know, hopefully John can get out there and, you know, there's no reason why your wetland scientist can't in the next month prepare a remediation plan.
I really thought John was going to do that. That was the impression.
John, well, unless John has the plan, the drawing plan, John is gonna do, but you need a wetland scientist or John's wetland scientist to formulate and tell you how to do it.
Okay, I was under the impression Dexter was saying that boundaries would pick up the next pieces.
Well, that's up to you. You can talk with them about that, but generally a wetland scientist has the knowledge that a surveyor doesn't when it comes to saying these species should be replanted. There aren't enough organics in the area that was filled, so we need to create some organic soil by mixing 50% topsoil, 50% organic matter, so that the wetland plants we plant in there are gonna grow and thrive and not just dry up and die in a year. That's what your wetland scientist is gonna do for you. It'll be more of a narrative thing, and then John will put it on paper and he will show this area was filled, so many square feet, this area is gonna be remediated, so many square feet.
Most of the,
And that's what it's gonna take to make these guys happy.
most of the area was all marginal silt. There really was very little, if any, organics.
Mhm.
It's a mucky silt.
That's organics.
Silt?
Yeah.
Sand?
Not sand. Sand and silt are two different animals.
Usually I thought they were
All
much
depends
more.
on the organic matter, but you know, I've seen wetland plants growing in subsoil.
Yeah,
Hardly any organic matter in it at all, they'll grow, it's just a matter of, we just want to see it remediated properly, that's all.
yeah, well,
And we want a stable road too, we don't want, that's why John's civil engineer is gonna get involved. He's gonna fix the drainage issue there so that silt and sediment doesn't keep washing into the wetland, and that you have a stable road edge that's not just gonna keep eroding into the wetlands on both sides. That's how to do it right.
both sides?
Are there not wetlands on the other side too?
No,
No? I never looked at the other side because I never,
no, it's, John Moran's property on the
okay,
other side of the bank.
okay. Yeah, so, just, you want to, if you're gonna be taking trucks and stuff in and out of there, it's gonna be a development someday. You want this done right the first time. You don't want to have to hire a surveyor and engineer to redesign a road for you all over again.
I'd like to clean it up and stone it. At this point, I have no idea what.
As long as it's stable, we're not gonna care.
I mean, assume I need some type of a detention hole,
Yep.
catch basin, a
It's
speedway.
exactly what.
Something of that nature.
I'm not gonna tell you that, because it's not my job to. tell
I
you.
don't know what they'll call for, whether it's a swale, stones.
Dave McKay is John's civil engineer. He will tell you exactly what needs to be there. And that's exactly what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a stone line trench with a big scour hole and an outlet, so all the dirty water stays in there and the
Good one.
clean water comes out.
He could want to swale up the length of it. I don't know, stone it. I don't know what it'll
That's the
call for.
cheapest way to do it.
But it's probably not my call. It'd probably make more sense to do a swale for a couple hundred feet, catch the water and do sheet flow. Than to try and catch it all at the bottom anyway. But I don't know what he'll call for.
Well,
I can ask, and he may say it's overkill, it's not enough, whatever.
like I said, I want to reiterate, if anybody has any questions, they can call me.
Yeah,
And I'll be more than happy to work with them anyways and get this thing done.
yeah, not a problem. Some of my problem, most of my problem in erosion came from the logging people that cleared the place. They came in with their machine and made a swale that was not authorized. And they kind of upset me, to say the least, for the mess that they left. I mean, so Drain Development's a licensed company. And that's what they left me. I'm kind of a little bit shocked that somebody of that magnitude would do that. And that their thing is solar panels, wind turbines, and large construction sites. That's what they left me. I'm a little bit disappointed. I don't have the means to fight with them. But I'm gonna leave it at that. I doubt anybody would do anything about somebody's license, but I'm sure it's not acceptable in the forestry world what they did. And I just asked, would somebody even make, if it was even complained in Hartford, would anything even result against them? Because I've had others that were terrible in my eyes, and nothing happens against their licenses. They're horrible. They come, they go, they leave a mess. God bless you. You fight with them. The insurance company says, go away. You can't afford to take them to a trial for a cleanup mess, but they leave the place of shambles, and I know they violate the technical terms of their license.
Mhm.
And there's no recourse against it. I hear there is, that they're supposed to play by all the rules, but when it's all done, no.
Yes, we do.
Somebody
Make a motion.
motion to table it till next month.
Okay, yeah, I'll make a motion to table this issue to next meeting in February.
Can we table it into March? No, you want to, I'll see you in February then. I don't know how far they'll be.
Meeting in February.
All in favor?
Aye.
I highly doubt they'll have
Motion
plan
passed.
bills.
Either next week, if he's coming next week, he should be able to get something done.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Fine.
I can write a remediation plan in a couple hours.
I just don't know. I've been waiting so long for them. I've been waiting for the survey crew out in the back. They just don't even have time to care. So I just somehow don't think I'm gonna see a finished project in 3 weeks. I'll be here and tell you what I thought. That's all I can promise you.
That's all you can do.
I'll tell you where they began and ended.
Any new business?
No.
Correspondence?
None that I know
Agents
of. Nothing, everything's been pretty quiet.
report.
Still waiting
On the
on-
holidays, huh?
Still waiting for, something from Bennett Circle, but again, they're dealing with the same thing he's dealing with, is, engineers are freighted right now, so they get to it sometime. Everything's been done well. I spoke with the guy that's, in charge of things, and they're backing out the system, they've been shoveling sediment out, and they've been doing a lot better job of maintaining it than in the past years.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Any other discussion? I see we have elections down there, but since we're missing two full-time members,
Yeah.
we should probably table those till next month.
We'll wait on next one, right?
Yeah.
All right, that's smart.
Yeah,
So we'll just make sure that's on the agenda next one.
that one probably should get up and put on, like,
You guys can just elect him while he's not here. You don't need to do that.
I want to give him a fight chance.
We already need two alternates now because Tammy did step down as well, so.
Yeah, if you guys know anybody that's.
I forwarded the email on to a couple of.
Now,
people.
will he have to be appointed as a full-time member by Tracy? Is that how that works?
No, we just handle that at the commission level.
Yeah,
If anybody new wanted to come on, then we would have to. That would go through Tracy.
Adjourn?
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Approved at 6:58.
Praying for my horse.